Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today we're going to make some real boom bap and I'm going to show you how to do it in FL Studio. So firstly, Serato sample is the GOAT as far as sampling currently. There's nothing better that I've tried as far as time stretch, stem separation. There's so much in here. So I'm just going to grab a random sample. We have samples in our Discord. Go to discord.gg/BusyWorksBeats. We have a ton of hip hop samples from all the hip hop classic records, Kanye West, Dr. Dre, Just Blaze samples, Jay-Z. I mean, there's all Wu-Tang Clan, Nas, etc., ATL, ATLians, Outkast, I meant to say. So let's click Find Samples, and I'm going to use my keyboard to find little sections of the song that I like. That's pretty cool, but the problem is it's kind of fast. So what we're going to do is half the speed. And it's also not like, it's like a weird timing. Okay, so because of that, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it kind of starts early. So what I like to do is I chop with the sample, the drums on the sample, and then if I have to take out the drums, I'll take out the drums. So if you struggle with sampling, try listening for that downbeat kick. And then the snares are where a snare would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If your downbeat is on a snare, chances are it's not gonna line up right. Like right here. I mean, you could have looped that, sounds hard. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, so those last chops don't matter. Okay, so what we're gonna do is quantize, hit Control Q, Control L to elongate the notes. Now, not every sample is going to be perfectly chopped in Serato. That's the one thing. It's not going to be perfect. So right now it's like after dark. Okay, so you might have to go in and fix that. So just to show you how you could use any sample, let's go back because I don't like how that timing is for this sample. So again, we have a ton of samples from so many records on our Discord. Let's click on a random sample, quite literally. Now, samples are either mostly like a drum sample or you're going to get musical samples. So you have to determine what are you trying to extract from a song. A vocal chop, or are you trying to extract music or drums? Most of the time, they separate them for hip hop. We're going to find samples and play the same exact thing, but just... Okay, so now we can arrange it. Okay, now let's up the BPM. So we're at half tempo right now. What I'll do is I'll reset it to normal and then lower the BPM. Let's go to Serato. Let's go ×2 to bring it back. And then now let's go to 88 or 84. This is the boom bap era. Oh my God, I can't talk today. The boom bap area for BPM. 84 BPM, 88, 91 BPM. Okay, so what we have to do is bring all our notes tighter. So I'll hit Control A, hit Alt, grab this arrow, and make sure everything's halved. Now, because we don't have drums, I'm going to keep the instrumentation in this. If anything, I'll EQ the bass or do something to it. But I like the tone of the sound so far. Now we need some drum breaks to chop up. So right now I'm listening for tone, usually of the snare that will determine if the drum sample goes with the sample. Just listen for the snare. So again, we're not listening for perfect rhythm right now. We're going to chop it up anyway. We're listening for the snare. All right, this has the best snare match. So let's right click, open that up and slice, and click here to slice it by the medium auto slicing. We're going to hit Control X and we're going to create our own drum pattern for slice. So let's go in here to the piano roll. First thing I'd like to do is lay down the snare. So change your snap to grid to like a half beat. We're going to put the snare in. Now the snare is probably going to be the same sample. I wouldn't change out the snare. So right now the sample is super way ahead of the sample. The drums are way ahead of the sample. So what we could do is just delay all of the drums by going to the wrench tool here, turning up time shift until the snare fits in the pocket. It's probably the best method. This way we don't have to offset the grid any. So now we need to find our downbeat and our jump, like our ghost kick. So we're gonna go dun dun ch boom. So ba and boom are two different kicks. Okay, so we need to change our snap to grid to 1/4 beat this time. And put two kicks back to back. And then what we're gonna do is take that first kick and hit Alt right to nudge it to the right. And this will create that swing effect. Okay, so the more you pull it to the right, the more swing you have. Let's repeat this kick pattern. So the swing is too fast. So we need to make the swing fit the sample. This is the hard part about drums. Okay, so you gotta really listen to if the swing sounds fake or not. And usually at the end, I change up the drums. This is where if your drum sample does have tom drums or like a tom roll in there, this is where you would chop it up. Like at the end, do like toot 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 toot. So right now that swing of the kick is not matching the swing of the bass. So let's see if delaying these kicks will make it better or worse. So again, the hardest thing is just getting that swing timing to fit right. Again, we're not using a meter. We're doing this by hand. It's very different. Now we're just changing out the ending. So if what we're listening to is the groove and the timing of the drums, the sample is hitting too early. So let's go to the sample and time shift. What I like to do is add modern drums, so it's not like super dusty drums that we have to process. What we'll do is we'll go to a different kit. We're going to swap out the kick. That's going to be the biggest area where you can modernize the sound, is at least the kick. Okay, so that kick is really punchy. So now we're going to take all those kicks. I think it's this one and these two here. What we're going to do is hit Control C, copy all those notes, go into the piano roll of the kick, hit Control V, hit Alt K, change your scale to C, or your key to C. Can't talk today, y'all. Key to C, scale to none, and make sure C is highlighted here. Hit Accept. So now it's all of those notes are rerouted to middle C. Now you have a much bigger sound. Let's see if we can find a harder snare too. Let's see if the snare will line up. See how it's super early? Go to your snare, go to wrench tool, and turn up time shift. So I'm layering the original drum kit with a modern kick. I'm not taking out the drums, because if I take them out, it doesn't have that dusty sound to it. Again, we can work with the timing here. Now let's create the crunch for the entire sound. Here's where you get into making it sound like the 90s, for example. I'm going to start mixing the sound. Let's do, where is it at here? Standard clip, where art thou? I have so many plugins, you guys, it's ridiculous. Okay, let's go to standard clip. We're going to chop off the sound and make it more square. When I'm mixing more acoustic stuff, I like to run it through compressors. So we're going to mix these drums and run them through a compressor. First, I'm going to run them through a preamp. Okay, so now we're adding that acoustic sound. So I'm adding a little hi-hat overlap so the snares is not like and it stops. I like that a hi-hat after to keep the balance. Add a little crunch. So the kick has so much knock, I have to pull it back. So I need to figure out a way to layer a hi-hat with this snare, the additional snare. So what I'm gonna do is clone the slice and pull this down. Let me see, hit Alt down. And let's copy the timing of the snare by sending it to the piano roll. It won't matter because it's quantized to the grid and it has time shift on it. What I want to do is find a hi-hat sample and put it like this. So let me solo just the snare. So a little trailing hi-hat is important for that snare. So I pushed the sample a little bit back so the bass wouldn't play so early. So this claims to be an MPC converter. It's kind of making the highs lo-fi. So we don't really need the input gain. It doesn't add any texture, just this knob here. This feels like a subtly moving filter based on the envelope, but I can't tell. Pretty much it. Now it's just texture that you add. To make your kick more 90s, you could use the Mod X to create a low pass filter over your kick so it doesn't have so much knock. Let's mess with the swing parameter just to see. I do like the swing sound, but it's a little too fast. All right, so it just needs a little more movement in this track specifically. So if you want to learn how to make sample beats, go to busyworksbeats.com. Look for the sample series. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video. Peace.